Shh, listen. Do you hear that? Oh no, they're coming. Quick, hide! Under your bed, stuff yourself in the closet, get your parents to fight, anything to draw the attention off yourself. Go off the grid, unplug everything. It's too late. They're here. Everyone's uploading massive 10-minute videos on the small piece of Doom content we got yesterday. It's too much. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist throwing out some type of jokes like that. And that does include me. But with that being said, today we're talking about the Ancient Gods Part 2 DLC. Yesterday, Hugo Martin did his weekly streams where they shared a little bit more information on some things coming to DLC 2. I've been covering it over these last couple weeks, but there's really no new information besides the new demon that we're going to be talking about, and maybe Joshua Boyle leaking a master level for Mars Core. He lets this slip out twice during the stream.
See, I always forget that you don't actually get a Doom Hunter here because I'm so used to the master level version of this because that's what I play most often now. And
what I find interesting is he never directly addresses that. He lets it slip and then he obviously reads chat and then he just keeps it going. But I find it interesting because he either plays mods, because there is a master level mod for Mars Core, or there's a master level out there that he's already been playtesting, because he's been playtesting DLC 2 for the last couple weeks now. And for those of you that don't know, Joshua Boyle is actually the community manager for Bethesda, so kind of an important person to know in a grand scheme of things. Now, besides that leak, I actually also forgot something very small, which I found a little irritating, considering as someone that's been advocating for console players for this to be added for PC players doesn't really make that much sense to me. But it sounds like with the DLC 2, id Software is going to be implementing a feature on mouse and keyboard that allows you to toggle the delay between the weapon wheel pop-up animation, which they're calling the weapon wheel open delay, which in other words, from what it sounds like, they're going to be tweaking your weapon wheel's responsiveness and allowing you to adjust it on mouse and keyboard. How does that make any sense? I get it, not everyone has a mouse with 400 buttons to map weapons to, all kinds of keys on your mouse, but you do have a keyboard and you can tie specific weapons to specific keys. So either way, you have a level of flexibility on mouse and keyboard that isn't there on console. Why is this not being considered for controller implementation? Better yet, why is mouse and keyboard not being supported on console? I don't know. This decision personally to me just makes no sense unless I misheard them and they're adding it to both platforms, but I don't know. It just made no sense to me. Also, while we're on this rant, a while back there was rumors of an Ice Bomb nerf coming. Yeah, Hugo actually came out and said that that's never gonna happen. He still feels like the Ice Bomb is overpowered, but they're not gonna change it at all. So there you go. But with that being said, let's get into the main source of the video, and that is the new demon that was announced. One of the new demons, I should say. There's going to be multiple ones in the DLC, but the one that they shared with us is called the Screecher. Now, in short, it's an AI that essentially acts as a slow but mobile buff totem. It's an enemy that you actually want to actively avoid killing when there's heavies within the area because it's a slow mobile buff totem, but the catch is it's not a buff totem or it doesn't empower demons until you kill it. Which I gotta say, I love this fucking concept because right off the bat, just thinking, grenades are now risky, remote detonation you're gonna have to think twice on using, and even though I showed in the past that you can pretty much abuse Blood Punch with the Punch and Reeve rune, now you don't know what exactly is going to trigger that demon to die. And that's the other question I had. What's this demon's health pool gonna be like? It's obviously moving slow, but what's its movement patterns? What's its attack patterns? Or is it just gonna be like the cue ball where it's just something you want to be aware of in the environment and kind of want to actively avoid engaging any kind of fights near it? And that's not to mention if red barrels actually return, that's another hazard you're going to want to actively keep an eye on because that can, by mistake, trigger the Screecher to die. That is, of course, if it's going to have a lower health pool similar to that of a cue ball or an imp, which I'm expecting it to have, because if it has a health pool anything greater than at least a soldier, in my mind, that would make no sense. It would be a little too forgiving. But fundamentally, that's not only going to change how you approach fights, but Ultra Nightmare by itself, not counting the new weapon and what the other demons are going to be, but just as of right now, what we know with the implementation of the Screecher, your free falter from grenades are almost stripped from you. You can't do no crowd control. You would have to basically rely on your ability to pull demons away from a certain area of the arena, wherever that Screecher is, and then fight in a corner of that arena while actively keeping an eye on where the Screecher is without accidentally triggering it to buff everything in the arena. I fucking love that. I'm all there. That's an additional layer of having to think, you know, prove to yourself that you're actually capable of doing such a thing. And then if you come into an arena where you're dealing with multiple Screechers in a tight space, oh man, you are fucked. With 2 or 3 Marauders, I don't expect to be fighting 3 Marauders, but I'm actually really hyped for this DLC. That demon by itself sounds amazing, but a little bit on the shorter end, but the way they're feeding us crumbs of information like this is kind of sadistic, but I mean, what can we do? I said it before, and I'll say it again. If this DLC doesn't drop by March 20th, then we riot, because that is what the Season Pass guaranteed us.